We have dreamers up there and here. Can you hear you give us about your their right out and
Good morning, everyone. And I congratulate Disha Bharat and Rekha Madam on the 20th anniversary of Disha Bharat in leading the youth of this country to becoming a leader. So it's an honor to be here, and I would love to take this opportunity to convey my congratulations as well as the best wishes for all of you in terms of becoming the best humans first and then everything else. So, I was asked why did you dare dream? I think we all dream. We have different dreams, and if you don't dream, you're not alive. When you dream from since a baby, it could be, if medically, if I look at it, even a newborn babies can dream. And as long as we have a brain, we dream. My dream, I come from a small district called Mandya. I think you all know about Mandya. We are known for rowdyism and sugarcane and paddy and Kaveri water. And coming from there, I think matter of few years, people will forget Mandya because of the bypass now on the national highways. Coming from a small district like that, where when I was studying, we used to rank the last in SSLC and PUC exams. Education was not the biggest priority there, and I was the first woman graduate of my entire family. But since the day I was born, although I was a girl child, and I'm a girl child for my father, he blessed me one thing from the day I was born. That is you be the best doctor of the world. Prapanchada atyanta shreshta vaidyalago. This is the first blessing I've always heard, even today I hear. My father never says you are the best, you always say become the best. That's where your dream starts, from becoming the best, striving towards excellence, and trying to do something for yourself and for the country and for the fellow humans. So I went to UK and did my post-graduation in anesthesia, critical care and aeromedical. And I looked back at India and I said, I'm giving my best to this country. Why should I not give the best to my own country? There are every 4 minutes, there's a death on Indian road. So every 4 minutes, somebody dies on Indian road. They're all the youth contributing to the GDP. 3% loss is the GDP loss to the country just by these accident deaths, excluding these medical emergencies. When I looked at that, and one of my uncle also passed away when he was being transferred from Chikmagalur to Bangalore for his brain hemorrhage. It just made up my mind, left my roaring career there, and I said, I'm going back home. I need to bring this service to India where I can save as many lives as possible and also build a big Apple in terms of service and provide a free air ambulance service for the entire country. This dream is the one which brought me back, striving hard. Even today, we have achieved quite a few things of what I dreamt. And I know I have 2 minutes to speak. I dreamt to become a lifesaver, and I still keep doing this. And I want to create an army of lifesavers as well through CPR training programs.
is a vision and short term needs. When did you decide to be a journalist?
I was in 9th standard. I was in 9th standard when I decided to be a journalist. But my primary school teachers now was that I had decided to be a journalist when I was in journalism. Because I had written a small story for a school magazine in which hero of the journalist and he was the training. That's what he was. When my dream got period, I was in 9th standard. My decision was so. Before that, my decision was somewhat I am not to government. That was the decision. Then, when I was in 10th standard, I started talking about it. And my the whole decision model changed. If at all I take the government salary, actually because that was the decision. Then gradually I really went on year. So yes, I was in 9th standard when I wanted to be a journalist, and how my career would be, path was very clear. Then there was no medical path, there was chance. I wanted to be a print journalist. I still remember I completed my graduation and came to Bangalore because my mother was born in a district called Dharwad, called Meera, village called Chakri. It's about 16-17 kilometers from Gowda. Then back in 2004-05, there were no good journalism colleges in India. The purpose of me coming to Bangalore was to do journalism. Some senior journalists asked me, and I told them that I want to be a journalist. They asked me, what is your aim in journalism? And the aim in journalism was also very clear. I just told him, when I'm walking in the street, I want to provide people to come and take my answer. I want that kind of thing. So I think that is very good read. There is a movie, but I don't have to, but I don't know, we have to. अगर आप किसी चीज को शिद्दत से खाओगे तो पूरा कायनात उस हिसाब से
and we have confidence in street and very much. And decided to be, about the army or this, you dream of being just a proud star. And when you start, why do you even not dream the present? Why do some of the so much busy?
Jai Hind! Jai Bharat! This is the power of youth voice. The mic or the speakers or the digital system is not able to hold it. Congratulations for that. And I always say this, the voice of youth is the voice of nation. And that's why youth inspires, because you are the future. Congratulations in coming such a big number here, and many congratulations to Disha Bharat for putting up this platform and inviting us for this amazing session. Chintiyami tasmad asmi. I think, therefore I am. The fastest mean of travel to commute is thoughts. Even before you blink your eye, sitting here, I'm sure you would reach to the space shuttle to see whether Sunita Williams is okay or not. And even before you finish that thought, you're back into your childhood days. That's the power of thoughts. Thinking. But it's like an unguided missile. So when this unguided missile gets molded, when this thought gets molded, it becomes a dream. And when dreams start having a reason, start setting a plan, it becomes a goal and aim.
speaking of the word aim, it reminds me of a proverb in Gujarati which says, Nishan chup maaf, nahi maaf nichu nishan, which means it is pardonable if you miss the aim, but it is unpardonable to aim low. And that is what brings us to Dare to Dream, Dream Big. So thinking of this dream big, it suddenly reminds me of one of the life experiences of our Honorable Prime Minister, Shri Narendra Modi, coming from a state. I have many much such anecdotes. One such, because of the dream, I thought of sharing with you. And this life incident is much before, while he was a Prime Minister, much before, while he was a Chief Minister, even before that, while he was a Pracharak in Sangh. In one of his tours as a Pracharak, he was at a railway station, moving from one place to another. He saw a person sitting at the platform, and the person was doing some kind of an action. So the person was sitting at the platform and he was doing something like this, something like this. As always, intrigued, our Prime Minister then went to that person and asked him, "Bhai, to shu kare chhe? What are you doing?" So the person there says, "I'm very hungry, but I don't have any money to eat. So I'm thinking and I'm dreaming that I have a plate in front of me which has a roti and salt so that I can fulfill my hunger." And you know what our Prime Minister said then? विचारने में विचारेशु किम दरिद्रता. जब आपको सोचना ही है, जब आपको ड्रीम ही करना है, why so much poverty in your dreams? Why cannot you dream that you are having a chappan bhog and satisfy yourself? So that brings us to this topic, dream big, dare to dream. And what just Shamaji asked, that you always had this dream of becoming an army officer. So yes, this all started somewhere down south, and I always say it is because of Niyati I could wear this uniform. And why do I say so? A girl from Gujarat, even 2 decades back, wherein we didn't have much information, awareness about armed forces. Even today it is very sparse. So Niyati took me to Chennai, and that is where I saw a poster of an army officer wearing that crisp uniform in front of Officers Training Academy, Chennai, not knowing that this entire universe would work together to bring me to that academy, and I would train there and become an army officer and get commissioned from that academy. So it was that uniform which inspires me even today. It inspired me even then, and it was a very soft heart of hardly a 4th standard girl which the uniform got attracted by. And today is the day, even when I wear my medals, I have that pride, I have that responsibility towards my nation, towards the citizen of my nation. Thank you so much.
Dream big. Dream big. Sir, a 22-year-old is generally seen in the colleges, on the corridors, rather than on the compounds. It's really hard to see a 22-year-old IAS officer. What really inspired you? How did you achieve that dream? And I'm sure you must have dreamt really young to achieve the part by the 22nd year. So, could I have like glimpse of your journey?
ಮೊದಲನೇದಾಗಿ ಎಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ನನ್ನ ನಮಸ್ಕಾರಗಳು. ಇವತ್ತು ನಿಮ್ಮೊಂದಿಗೆ ಈ ಒಂದು ಸಂವಾದವನ್ನ ಆಯೋಜನೆ ಮಾಡಿರ್ತಕ್ಕಂತಹ ದಿಶಾ ಭಾರತ್ ಸಂಸ್ಥೆಯವರಿಗೆ ಹಾಗೂ ಕಾಲೇಜಿನ ಆಡಳಿತ ಮಂಡಳಿಯವರಿಗೂ ಕೂಡ ನನ್ನ ಹೃತ್ಪೂರ್ವಕ ಧನ್ಯವಾದಗಳನ್ನ ಸಲ್ಲಿಸ್ತೇನೆ. Madam, coming back to your question, what inspired me to become the administrator? So in fact, I was in 5th standard when I asked my father. In fact, it was one of those days where we were watching a movie. I asked my father, which is the most powerful, Rajkumar movie, yavdu most powerful job anta. He told me out of his knowledge. He said, it is the administrative service. And that is the day actually I decided that, I dreamt of getting into administration. And over a period of time, I always consider myself as a blessed kid. So I was lucky enough to get lecturers who motivated me, who guided me, who inspired me to get into this. So I was clear right from the beginning. Right from the beginning, I was clear that I should get into civil services, mainly because I wanted to, bring about some changes in the lives of public at large. In fact, see this cost me my service also 1 year. As I told you, as Madam was telling, in 2010 I gave my first attempt and I was in interview, and one of the panelists, he asked me. In fact, my interview went really well. I was almost about to get an IAS, that too in Karnataka cadre. But what happened actually, when everything was, when everything went well, I was about to open the door. Then the chairman called me back, and he asked me, "Why have you put only IAS and IPS? Why not the other services?" I told him my idea of getting into administration. I told him that these are the only 2 services which help me in providing, in bringing about some changes in the lives of public at large. But somehow he was not convinced. He was from Indian Postal Service. I lost. I was awarded a very little mark. All that is out. Out of 300, I got 130, and finally I ended up on getting the 333rd rank, and I was able to get IRS. So that was the thing. So what I'm trying to say is basically that I dreamt of getting into the services at a very young age. I had clarity of thought, and I was focused and put all my efforts into it, and I was able to achieve this. And I'm quite happy. Thank you.
But the usually makes you value of focus. We really set the focus from which standard. You start an enterprise, the first of its kind in India. And you must have faced certain changes, or maybe starting from creation of markets to ways of running, influence. And so, how do you retain your focus despite the challenges?
Right. It's an interesting question. How I think it means how did I become an entrepreneur from being a doctor? So business. How did we create business of air ambulance? We didn't create the business of air ambulance. Air ambulance is just a service of saving lives. So you can't. You can't say first of all, I never call this a business, it's a service. And it's always there, it is right in front of our eyes. Today, every day, we just celebrated Children's Day. Every day, 16 children die on Indian road. Thousands of children die of congenital heart diseases. Every less than a minute, one person is having a cardiac arrest, and 20% more after the COVID. So while we are focused in terms of saving life, the entrepreneurship business just fell in place. When we came back to India, from the UK, the CAR document, that is a civil aviation required document, how to do helicopter emergencies did not exist. So even government didn't know how we do HEMS, we call it HEMS, helicopter emergency medical services, how to airlift a patient, because India has many challenges in terms of aviation. India was still growing, becoming it was still budding in terms of aviation. Recently, we have many schemes like Udan, Udega, Aam Aadmi, and schemes like regional connectivity. Even today, we are not at the best. Brazil has 2,000 helicopters. India has only 250 helicopters. In Germany, every million there is a helicopter just to do emergencies. In India, for the entire India, there are only 2 helicopters and one is with us, which we are locked in Bhopal for the PM Shri Air Ambulance Seva. So the reason entrepreneurship was just of a excellent, it happened by chance, not by choice. What was the choice was creating a world-class air ambulance service where nobody should be left behind either because there is no skill or there is no money or there is no facility. We can build big hospitals and get the best skill sets, but it's not easy to take the same skill onto the road because the saving life starts from the bedside or the roadside. It's called pre-hospital emergency medicine. If you don't bring a patient to the hospital in a stable condition, the disability would have set in. People don't die of primary injuries, we say, they die of secondary injuries. So when the primary injury is a big focus and it's called golden hour concept as well, if you look at it, across the world and in the best healthcare services, golden hour has become a principle of healthcare, not just one of the ways of doing it. Looking at if National Highway spends 2,500 crore on building roads, 25,000 crore people, is a loss to the country on the same roads which was built using 2,500 crore. This is the impact. If one person dies, Abdul Kalamji said, if one person dies, the world dies. If, for example, if I'm sitting here talking to you and I just collapse and die, or I meet with an accident and die, it affects my children, it affects my grandchildren, it will affect my siblings, it will affect my parents. And if I'm the earning person of the family, my entire family generation together is a huge setback. My children not go to school, my parents will not be taken care. Like this, the young population who are traveling by road or earning for their families if they die, there is not only the impact for the families, the impact for the nation and impact for the world as well. So this is the whole reason why when we came back, no matter what the difficulties are, decided that it has to be put in place, it has to happen, and the dream happened. Providing a free air ambulance to the country happened in Madhya Pradesh under the scheme called PM Shri Air Ambulance Service. A farmer who has never even sat in a car is being brought to the higher care center by helicopter today. And this is the dream came with the entrepreneurship was just as I said, it's just a chance, it just happened along the way. So if you focus on your dream of doing what you want to do, the best, giving your best, business, the money, the success, whatever you call it, will all fall in place.
Going back to what I was saying, don't need to be able to. That's what I'm done. It's so amazing that P is a consequence of doing. So, it's very hard to be an analyst. Rather than very hard to speak of one's opinions is what I think is correct. ಪತ್ರಕರ್ತನಾಗಿ ಪ್ರಾಮಾಣಿಕ ಒಪಿನಿಯನ್ಗಳನ್ನ ವಿಮರ್ಶೆಗಳನ್ನ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಅಂತಂದಾಗ ಸಾಕಷ್ಟು ಸಮಾಜದಿಂದ ನೀವು ಸಮಾಜ ನನ್ನದೇ ಒಂದು ತೀರ್ಮಾನಗಳನ್ನ ನಿಮಗೆ ಹೀಗಾದ್ರೂ ದಿನ 8 ಗಂಟೆಗೆ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಕುತ್ಕೊಂಡು ನನಗೆ ಅನಿಸಿದ್ದನ್ನ ನಾನು ಪ್ರಾಮಾಣಿಕವಾಗಿ ಹೇಳ್ತೀನಿ ಅಂತಂದಾಗ ಅನ್ಬೇಕು ನಾವು ಇಲ್ಲಿ ತಯಾರಿಗಳ ಆಗಿರಬೇಕು, ಮಾನಸಿಕ ತಯಾರಿಗಳು ಆಗಿರಬೇಕು.
ನಿಮ್ಮ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಸ್ಟೇಟ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಡಿಫಿಕಲ್ಟ್ ಟು ಬಿ ಡಿಫಿಕಲ್ಟ್ ಟು ಇವತ್ತಿನ ಕಾಲದಲ್ಲಿ ಮೊಬೈಲ್ ಯೂಟ್ಯೂಬ್ ಚಾನಲ್ಗಳು ನಮ್ಮನ್ನು ನಾವು ಜರ್ನಲಿಸ್ಟ್ ಹೇಳೋದು ಬಹಳ ಈಸಿ ಆಗಿದೆ. ಯಾವ ರೀತಿ ಪತ್ರಿಕೋದ್ಯಮ ಇರಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ನಾವು ಬಯಸಿದ್ರು ಆ ರೀತಿಯ ಪತ್ರಿಕೋದ್ಯಮ ಆಗೋದು ಸಾಧನ ಆಗಬೇಕು. ಹೌದು, ನಾವು ಸ್ಪೆಷಲಿ nothing but no journalists have ever been introduced. So I have to take hands. At some time, criticize. Criticism ಬಂದೇ ಬರೋದಿಲ್ಲ. ಕೆಲವು ಸಲ criticism actually ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ ಅಲ್ಲಿಂದ ಆಗಿದ್ದು ಅದು ಇಂಟರ್ನೆಟ್ ಫೋನ್ ಕಾಲ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಹೊರಗೆ ಅದನ್ನ ಹೆಂಗೆ ಹ್ಯಾಂಡಲ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಒಂದು ತಿಂಗಳು ಯಾವುದೋ ಟ್ರೈನಿಂಗ್ ಕಾಲ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ನನ್ನ ಮುಂಚೆಗೆ ಟೇಸ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕು ನನ್ನ ಜೀವನದಲ್ಲಿ. ನಾವು ತೆಗೆದುಕೊಳ್ಳುವ ನಿಲುವುಗಳಿಗೆ, ತೆಗೆದುಕೊಳ್ಳುವ ಸ್ಟ್ಯಾಂಡ್ಗಳಿಗೆ, ಎದುರು ಹಾಕುತ್ತೀವಿ ಆ ವಿಷಯದ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ನಮ್ಮ ಟೀಕೆಗಳು, ಕೆಲವೊಂದು ಸಲ ಬೇರೆ ಬೇರೆ ಪ್ರೆಷರ್ಗಳು, ಕೆಲವೊಂದು ಸಲ ಪ್ರಾಣಗಳಿಕೆಗಳು. ನಾನು 9ನೇ ಕ್ಲಾಸಲ್ಲಿ ಆಗಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ನಿರ್ಧಾರ ಮಾಡಿದಾಗ ಇಂಥ ಜನರಿಗೆ ಆಗಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ನಿರ್ಧಾರ ಮಾಡಿದೆ. ನೀವೆಲ್ಲರೂ ಮಾಡ್ತಿದ್ರೆ ವಿಧಾನಗಳು ರೀತಿಗಳೇ ಆಗೋದು, ಸಿನಿಮಾದಲ್ಲಿ ಆಗೋದು. ನನಗಿಂತ ಕೆಳಗಿನವರು ಏನೋ ಒಂದು ಸಹಾಯ ಮಾಡಬಹುದು ಮತ್ತು ನನಗಿಂತ ಮೇಲಿನವರನ್ನು ಪ್ರಶ್ನಿಸಬೇಕು. ಸಾಧ್ಯತೆಗಳಿರುವಂಥದ್ದು ಈಗ ನಾನು ಏನು ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಆದರೆ ಅದನ್ನು ಆಲೋಚನೆ ಮಾಡೋದು. ಯಾರು ನನ್ನ ಲಂಚ್ ಮಾಡಿದಲ್ಲಿ ಕರ್ಕೊಂಡು ಬರಲಿಲ್ಲ. ನಾನು ಬಯಸಿ ಬಂದ ಮೇಲೆ ಇದರ ಸುಖ ದುಃಖಗಳೆಲ್ಲವೂ ನನ್ನ ಆಯ್ಕೆ, ನನಗೆ ಆಯ್ಕೆ. ಮೇಡಮ್ ಬೆಳಿಗ್ಗೆ ಹೋಗ್ಬೋದು, ರಾಜಸ್ಥಾನ ಭಾಳ ಸೆಕೆ ಭಾಳ ಹಿಮಾಲಯ ಚಳಿ ಮಾಡೋದು ಆಯ್ಕೆ, ಬಯಸಿ ಅವಾಗ ತುಂಬ ದುಃಖ ಅನಿಸೋದಿಲ್ಲ, ಕಷ್ಟ ಅನಿಸೋದಿಲ್ಲ. ಎಲ್ಲವನ್ನೂ ನನಗೆ ಅದನ್ನು ಮಾಡಬೇಕಾಗುತ್ತೆ. Last year when I was standing in capital of Pakistan, Ramallah, I used to read a lot about it. I used to watch that city in documentaries. I heard a lot. I had written a book on it, translated a book on it. But when I was standing in Ramallah, seeing those protests, I didn't know, yeah, this is the kind of journalism I wanted to do and I am doing it. ಅಂತಿಮ ಪ್ರಳಯ ಸಾಯ್ತಾ ಅದನ್ನು ಬರುತ್ತೆ. ಊರೆಲ್ಲ ಏನೋ ಆಗ್ತಿರುವಾಗ ಇಡೀ ಊರಿನಿಂದ ಹೊರಗಡೆ ಹೋಗೋದು ಟ್ರಾಫಿಕ್ ಜಾಮ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಒಂದು ದಿನ ಮಾತ್ರ ಒಳಗೆ ಹೋಗ್ತಾರೆ, ಒಂದು ದಿನ ಖಾಲಿ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. When I was going to Uttarakhand to cover flash floods, especially Badrinath, ಎಲ್ಲರೂ ಫ್ಲಾಶ್ ಫ್ಲಡ್ನಿಂದ ರಾಜಶಾಹಿಯಾಗಿ ಹೋಗುವ ಬದ್ರಿನಾಥ್ ಹೊರ ಬರಬೇಕಾಗ ನಾನು ಒಂದು ಕ್ಯಾಮ್ರಾ ಇಟ್ಕೊಂಡು ಹೋಗ್ಬೇಕು, ಬದ್ರಿನಾಥ್ ಹೊರಗೆ ಹೋಗ್ತೇನೆ. ಯಾವ ಸಾಧು ನಾನು ಸ್ಪಿರಿಚುವಾಲಿಟಿ ಹೆಸರಲ್ಲಿ ನಾನು ಡಿಸ್ಕ್ಲೋಸರ್ ಅಗ್ರಿಮೆಂಟ್ ಬರ್ತಿದ್ದು ನನ್ನ ಆಶ್ರಮದಲ್ಲಿ ಏನೇನೋ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡಿದ್ದಾಗ ಒಂದು ಪತ್ರಿಕಾಗೋಷ್ಠಿಯಲ್ಲಿ 50 ಜನ ಪತ್ರಕರ್ತರ ಮಧ್ಯದಲ್ಲಿ ನಾನು ಕೃಷ್ಣಗೆ ಗಮನಿಸಿದಾಗ ಅಚೀವ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಒಂದೇ ಎಲ್ಲರಿಗೆ ಸಕ್ಸಸ್ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಮಾತಾಡ್ತೀವಿ. ಸಕ್ಸಸ್ ಅನ್ನೋದಿದೆಯಲ್ಲ, ದಟ್ಸ್ ವೆರಿ ಸಬ್ಜೆಕ್ಟಿವ್. ನನಗೆ ಜೀವನದಲ್ಲಿ 2 ವಿಷಯಗಳನ್ನು ಮಾಡಬಹುದು. ಒಂದು, ವಾಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಹ್ಯಾಪಿನೆಸ್ ಫಾರ್ ಯು, ವಾಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಸಕ್ಸಸ್ ಫಾರ್ ಯು. ಬಿಟ್ರೆ ಜೀವನದ ಭಾಗ ಒಂದೇ ಇರಲಿಲ್ಲ. ಆದರೆ ಡೆಫಿನೇಷನ್ ಅನ್ನು ನಿಮಗೆ ನೀವೇ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ. ಅದರ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಯಾರೂ ಅನಲೈಸ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕಾಗಿಲ್ಲ. ಈ ಯೂನಿವರ್ಸಲಿ ಅಕ್ಸೆಪ್ಟೆಡ್ ಡೆಫಿನೇಷನ್ ಇದೆಯಲ್ಲ ಸಕ್ಸಸ್, ಅದು ಕರೆಕ್ಟು ಅನ್ನೋದಾಗಿದೆ. ಸುಮ್ಮನೆ ಹೇಗೋ ಮೊಬೈಲ್ ಈಗ ಗೂಗಲ್ ಮೋಸ್ಟ್ ಫೇಮಸ್ ರಿಸರ್ಚ್ ಇನ್ ದ ವರ್ಲ್ಡ್. ಆಟೋದ ಶ್ರೀಮಂತರಿದ್ದಾರೆ, ಸುರಸುಂದರಿಯರಿದ್ದಾರೆ, ಸುರರೂಪಿಗಳಿದ್ದಾರೆ, ರಾಜರಿದ್ದಾರೆ, ಎಲ್ಲರಿದ್ದಾರೆ. A universally accepted definition of success if it was true, they would not have committed suicide. ನಾನು ಸುವರ್ಣ ಈ 2007 ಸುವರ್ಣ ಮುಂಚೆ 2 ವರ್ಷ I worked in Vishwabani. I had a column there. ಕಾಲುದಾರಿ ನನ್ನ ಕಾಲಮ್ ಹೆಸರಾಗಿದೆ. ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಆಗಿದೆ ಕಾಲುದಾರಿ. ಏಕೆಂದರೆ ಹೈವೇನಲ್ಲಿ ತುಂಬಾ ರಶ್ ಇದೆ. ಅದು ಹೈವೇನಲ್ಲಿ ತುಂಬಾ ರಶ್ ಇದ್ದ ಹೈವೇ ನನ್ನ ಕಾರಣ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ ಮಕ್ಕಳು ಕಾಲುದಾರಿಯನ್ನು ತೆಗೆದುಕೊಂಡು ಹೋಗಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ ಈ ಥರದ ತುಂಬಾ ಜನ ಈಗ ನಾನು ನಮ್ಮ ಕ್ಷೇತ್ರದಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದು ಸಾಧನೆ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ, ತಮ್ಮ ಕ್ಷೇತ್ರದಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದು ಸಾಧನೆ, ನಮ್ಮ ಮುಂದಿನ ಸಣ್ಣ ಪ್ರಮಾಣದ ಹೆಸರಿದೆ, ಎಲ್ಲ ಮಾತಾಡ್ತಿದ್ರು. ಯಾಕೋ ಜೀವನ ನಿರಾಸ ಏನ್ ತಪ್ಪು ಮಾಡೋದು ಜೀವನದಲ್ಲಿ, ಅವ್ರ ಎಫರ್ಟಲ್ಲಿ ಕಡಿಮೆ ಇದೆ. ಅವಾಗ ನೀವು ಬಹುಶಃ ಸಕ್ಸಸ್ ನಾನು ತಕ್ಕಮಟ್ಟಿಗೆ ಕಷ್ಟಪಟ್ಟಿದ್ದೀನಿ. ನನ್ನಷ್ಟು ಕಷ್ಟಪಟ್ಟದ್ದು 3 ಜನ ಪತ್ರಕರ್ತರಿದ್ದಾರೆ, 3 ಜನ ಪತ್ರಕರ್ತರಲ್ಲಿ ಕಷ್ಟಪಟ್ಟೋಗಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಅವ್ರು ಯಾರು ಬರದೆ ನಾನು ಸ್ಟೇಜ್ ಬಂದಲ್ಲ, ಅದು ಕೂಡ ನಾವೇ ಕೇಳ್ಕೋಬೇಕಾಗಿತ್ತು. ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಸುಮ್ಮನೆ ನಾವು ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ ಎಲ್ಲ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಡೆಫಿನೇಷನ್ ಅನ್ನು ನೀವು ಮಾಡಿ. ಹ್ಯಾಪಿನೆಸ್ ಅಂತ ನಾನು ಕಾಲದ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ. ಆರಂಭದ ದಿನಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಇನ್ಫೋಸಿಸ್ ಸೇರಿಕೊಂಡು 2 ದೇಶಗಳ ಇನ್ಫೋಸಿಸ್ ಹೆಡ್ ಆಗಿ ಕೆಲಸ ಮಾಡಿ, ಇನ್ಫೋಸಿಸ್ ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಸ್ವಂತ ಸಾಫ್ಟ್ವೇರ್ ಕಂಪನಿ ಮಾಡಿ, ಆ ಸಾಫ್ಟ್ವೇರ್ ಕಂಪನಿ ಮೀಡಿಯಂ ಗಟ್ಟಲೆ ಬಿಸ್ನೆಸ್ ಮಾಡುವಾಗ ಏಕಾಏಕಿ ಒಂದು ಫೋಟೋಗ್ರಫಿ ಇಂಟರ್ವ್ಯೂ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಯಾಕೆ ಅನಿಸ್ತದೆ ವಿಷಯ? ರಾಧಿಕಾ ಅಂತ ಎಲ್ಲ ಬೇರೆ ರಂಗೀತ ಸೂಪರ್ ಹಿಟ್ ಇವತ್ತು ಸಾಫ್ಟ್ವೇರ್ ಇಂಜಿನಿಯರ್ ಸಾಫ್ಟ್ವೇರ್ ಇಂಜಿನಿಯರ್ ಈ 4 ವರ್ಷ ಹೋದ ನಂತರ ಇದು ನನ್ನ ಜೀವನದಲ್ಲಿ ಇದೆಲ್ಲ ಮಾಡಬೇಕಾಗಿರೋದು ಅಂತ ಅನಿಸ್ತದೆ. ರಾಜೀನಾಮೆ ಕೊಟ್ಟುಕೊಂಡು ಭರತನಾಟ್ಯ ಕ್ಲಾಸಿಕಲ್ ಆಗಿ ಟೀಚರ್ ಆಮೇಲೆ ಏಕಾಏಕಿ ಒಂದು ಫಿಲಮ್ ವಾಪಸ್ ಈಗ ಅವರು ಅನುಭವ ಮುಗಿಸ್ಕೊಂಡು ಹೇಳಿ ಸಕ್ಸಸ್ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಪ್ರಕಾರ ಸಕ್ಸಸ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಪ್ರಕಾರ ಹ್ಯಾಪಿನೆಸ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಫೈನಲಿ ಯಾರು ಎಣ್ಣೆ ಹೇಳೋದು. ನೀವು ಪ್ರತಿ ದಿವಸ ಮನೆಗೆ ಹೋಗಿ ಅವತ್ತು ಎಲ್ಲ ಕೆಲಸಗಳನ್ನು ಮುಗಿಸಿ ಬೈಟಿಗೆ ಹೋಗಿ ತಲೆ ಕೊಡ್ತೀರಲ್ಲ, ಅವಾಗ ನಿಮಗೆ ಸಿಗುತ್ತಲ್ಲ, am I happy? Am I success? ಆ ನಿರಾಶಾದಾಯಕ ಉತ್ತರ ದೊಡ್ಡ ಸಾಮ್ರಾಟಗಳು ಇಲ್ಲ ನಾನು ಏನು ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡೆ ಬೇರೆ ಅಲೆಕ್ಸಾಂಡರ್ ಯಾಕೆ ನಾನೇನು ತಗೊಂಡು ಹೋಗ್ತೀನಿ ಅನ್ನೋಣ ಯಾಕೆ ಹಾಗೆ ತುಂಬ ಸಂತೃಪ್ತ ಜೀವನ. ಹೌದು, ಸಮಾಜದ ದೃಷ್ಟಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಏನು ಸಾಮಾನ್ಯ ವರ್ಣಿಸಿಕೊಂಡಂಗೂ ಕೂಡ ಸಂತೃಪ್ತ ಜೀವನವನ್ನು ನಡೆಸಬಹುದು.
One very common feature that I found in both their answers, they just did not dare to dream. They dare to do something. Always dream of a lot of things. Question is, are we doing towards it? Are we moving towards it? Like he gave this example of all the cars coming out, and then there's one car that's trying to enter the city because I wanted to do something there. That really defines in some ways. Thank you so much. Meera, what's been the most fulfilling moment? I'm sure you've had like various moments that have touched the heart in those action-prone areas in Rajasthan. Could you please probably inspire us and share stories?
I think to start with one such fulfilling moment today is ನಾನು ಸಂತೋಷವ ಗಿದ್ದೇನು. Yeah? I hope my pronunciation, I tried, I attempted, I dared to dream to learn a language. Sitting at a platform where in vernacular language, the regional language holds a connect with the audience. But why I say it so is that I am happy that I could be here to meet such young faces and learn from you as well. So that is to start with. Yes, there have been many such moments, Shamaji, you rightly mentioned. And the first and foremost was when I wore those brass stars on my shoulders. And it seemed कि वो आकाश के तारे मेरे कंधों पे आ गए हैं. So that was the kind of feeling. Of course, it's an immense feeling of being proud, but at the same time, a lot of responsibility on those very young shoulders of a 23, 22-year-old girl. And from there, getting posted to the border areas of Pakistan, Rajasthan, and being the only woman, leave aside officer, the only woman in the entire unit of 350 personnel of that place, and commanding a strength of 300 men ranging from 19 years to 55 years of your age. So yes, it came with a lot of responsibility, but at the same time, a lot of determination and courage. Because that is what army teaches you. While we get selected for army, I always say this, you don't go to army और ये ऐसे नहीं बोलते कि मुझे army join करना है. You always get selected for army. And why I say so? Because you've been tested through many qualities, which we call as officer-like qualities. And I would want to name a few here, which is first and foremost is the responsibility, leadership, loyalty. You have to have the decision-making, the split-second decisions. I encountered many such, those are a bit classified, but yes, while in Baramulla, Kashmir, and this was in 2007-8-9 when Article 370 was not abrogated. It was a very tense situation wherein we had to be with an AK-47 or a CMG, carbine machine gun or an INSAS with live ammunition 24/7. You never know what is going to happen the next second. And in that kind of a situation, that tense situation, you're not only responsible for your own life, but also the life of your body, of your soldiers. So that is the decision making. And in all of this tense situation, one of the happy moments which I get reminded today is in Baramulla, Kashmir. And there I was given this responsibility of Operation Sadbhavna. Operation Sadbhavna is one such mission of Indian Army wherein it connects with the locals out there in Kashmir towards Bharat. And this is, I'm talking about the time before the era of Article 370 got uplifted. So that is a very different kind of a Kashmir which you see today. In such kind of situation, I was given this task of Operation Sadbhavna, wherein we were working towards the empowerment of the local women there. Till now, Operation Sadbhavna was working towards the youth and the old age men, because women have a very sensitive part to even work upon in a place like Kashmir. And this was a big challenge given not only to me, but to the Indian Army as well, because one step gone wrong, you're taken for a 6. So that's exactly what happened. And we were targeting towards empowering those women, they were not normal women, but those women who have lost the bread earner of their family, their husband, father, brother, son, in a militant attack. So there's no one to earn in the family bread for, and we needed to empower those women. So we did a skill analysis and we saw that the natural thing which comes to those women is stitching. Bunai, they have wonderful Bunai skills. Why not work upon it to enhance it? So we collaborated with the Usha Fashion Designing School in Lucknow and had the entire curriculum design for them. We had the exams, the course, and at the end of the course, we used to give them a sewing machine to empower themselves. Now, it doesn't sound as easy as I say now because a lot of persuasion went in, and this is also one of the qualities which you are tested for by selection of as an army officer, that do you have this quality of to convince, because to convince their family to come out of their home, these women had never ever seen Baramulla other than their home, because it was not allowed. That was the kind of situation. When we got them to the center, we empowered them. We started from... Can you hear me? I think they want to test my skills. Is that okay? Thank you. So we started from a batch of 7 women, and I'm happy to share that in the 2 years of my tenure, I touched more than 200 lives of those women. And the most happy and satisfying moment of my entire tenure was that while I was getting posted out, one of women, for me, they started, I had that feeling of a student with them, though they all were elder to my age, but because of my role which I was performing with them, of the protection towards them. So one of the lady came to me and she gifted a salwar kameez. And I was in uniform and I was like, I cannot accept gifts. And you know what she said? Ma'am, this is not a gift and this is not a mere cloth. This is the first ever cloth which I have stitched in my life because of you empowered me, and the machine you gave to Army. This is that salwar kameez which I am wanting to gift you. And when I say this, I have goosebumps. Today even I have that dress with me. So those are the emotions and many much more. But this is why I shared this particular instance, because Army is not only about guns, it's also about roses.
I'm sure many of us would probably think of, okay, would I also be a captain one day? I'm sure that there is something in this today. Sir, let me be brutally honest. As a society, we have a sense of skepticism when it comes to, the people or the administrators, and then, because somebody is just associated, with the fact that they want all of this. We interacted and you be such an immaculate administrator and absolutely flawless in your delivery. How can you maintain it amongst odds? Rather, are there really odds? And if they are, how can you swim against those odds?
A very pertinent question for bureaucrats, rather administrators. Madam, actually, I respectfully beg to differ with you with respect to, the contention that the bureaucrats are generally perceived to be the red tapists. So if you look at, in the morning, actually, Manjunath sir was talking about the prospects of India being, going to be the 3rd largest economy in the world very soon, 2027. And for that, the contribution of administrators are always there. So I'll tell you one thing. Just to explain this or to emphasize this, I will give the examples of my own administration. I was there as Commissioner for Skill Development Department for almost 3.5 years. And I was able to come up with a lot of initiatives, in fact, which were even recognized by Government of India, Government of Karnataka, both. So being this commissionerate, I was able to train almost 1.5 lakh students in various skills. I was able to come up with various initiatives like Kalike Jotege Kaushalya. See, if you look at, this is pertinent for you guys because, see, today there is a lot of, the debates are going on, whether do we require a skill or do we require degree or graduation. Because at the end of 4th year, see, you're all here, studying in various streams like civil engineering, mechanical engineering, ENC, CS, so on and so forth. But have you ever asked questions to yourself? Like, at the end of 4th year, do I get campus placed? And will I be able to get a job of my dream? I have seen many students, who have done mechanical engineering but working in supply chain management. A civil engineer working as a full stack developer, right? A cyber security. So what happens is actually there is absolutely no relation, no correlation between what I have studied for 4 years and what I'm doing now, right? So this is the question, and that's mainly because of lack of skills. So to address this, actually, we came up with a concept called Kalike Jyotike Kaushalya, where around 37,000 students every year are getting trained in the job-oriented skills. And we also came up with, we came up with the support of Karnataka Higher Education Council. We came up with a concept called career education, career guidance, career planning. So you must be knowing that in our state, in our country, everybody first becomes an engineer and then they'll think as to what should I become. So that is because of lack of clarity about the career which I chose, right? So there are 37 sectors are there: agriculture, aviation, apparels, telecommunications, IT, ITES, tourism, healthcare, hospitality, logistics for that matter. But have you ever heard of these sectors, banking and finance? Absolutely not. So be like, we get into this engineering or medicine stream and then, they'll figure out as to what should I become. So to address this, we came up with this career planning, and today around 1.5 lakh students are getting benefited out of this initiative of Government of Karnataka. And then, if you look at the Skill Connect portal, we have come up with a portal called Skill Connect, wherein, using the AI technology, it matches the entrepreneurs, the companies and the job aspirants. It also has psychometric analysis. It will identify, in which traits you are strong and in which traits you are weak, and then helps you in upgrading yourselves. As Manjunath sir was also mentioning in the morning, it's all about skilling, upskilling, and reskilling. So for this, actually, we have come up with a lot of initiatives, and I'm just talking about my department. But if you look at the other departments also, they've also come up with the similar initiatives, and that's the reason we are all here today. And if you look at, we have also come up with, with the support of Karnataka Higher Education Council. I'll tell you, this is the most important thing. Because if you look at the recruitment scenario, in our country, every year around 3 lakh recruitment is happening, by the Staff Selection Commission, IBPS, and RRB, Railway Recruitment Board. But if you look at the Karnataka's percentage, it is hardly, approximately around 700 students are getting, or the job aspirants are getting recruited. So which is not even 0.01%. And you must be knowing that, for every, be it a private recruitment or a government recruitment, it is all about the aptitude that is going to be tested, right? In your campus placement also, that the aptitude will be tested. And even in the competitive exams, it is the aptitude. But very sadly, actually, that was not there. But that lecture was also addressed, and now it has been made part of the curriculum of all the undergraduates, BA, BSc, BCom, and now they will have to study compulsorily. And even in VTU also, VTU also has made it compulsory subject. So that is actually possible with the intervention of this Education Council. So basically, I'm trying to say that the government is also putting its effort in implementing, in coming up with various initiatives which are beneficial to public at large, madam. Thank you.
Actually, thank you for that. Actually, the images that existed in our parliament, that's really happy to know. But before we move on to the last round of common question, students, this is your program, it's for you, and it can never be, a program can never be a success unless we take your questions and answer your doubts. So, any questions that come to mind, we dedicate nearly about 20 minutes of the time for your questions, and our panelists will be ready to answer those questions. If your question is ready, we probably have time for about 4 to 5 questions maximum. But with that in mind, and I have a final question for each of you, that we not repeat again for some time. So, an aspiring good journalist, aspiring army person, and an aspiring good administrator. Could you give a two-liner, one legacy things that you have to do, and these are things that you cannot do. Who wants to do this?
Those who dream the most do the most. So, number one, you need to have a goal. Number two, you need to have the focus towards achieving that goal. I just take a step back and say one line about today's students or today's children, and including all of you and including the children in my house. The one thing that is distracting you the most is social media. And that is cluttering your brain, and there is a constant symphony, constant siren of social media as you go along every single minute, every single day. A lot of you might have seen I'm checking my phone. I'm not doing social media here, not to WhatsApp or anything. It's because one of the sickest guy, a 24-year-old dengue guy, whose blood pressure is not holding up, his saturations are not able to come to a prime, he's desaturating at 80, that is 100 is a normal saturations. My entire team is putting the effort to airlift him from one of the small village in Madhya Pradesh to Delhi to rescue his life. I'm constantly giving the input to see what's the best that could be done for me. I don't need to do. I have a huge team sitting across India. I'm here. I'm in Bangalore, Bhopal, Hyderabad, Mumbai, Mysore, Maldives. I have teams everywhere, who are doing this job. But still, I feel personally responsible to look into life saving this 24-year-old boy. When I was in Chhattisgarh, just during the assembly elections and also during the general election, election commissioner asked us to give protection or save lives of the CRPF guys. So we positioned ourselves in Jagdalpur, that is the second most sensitive airport of India. There are a lot of Naxalite activities, Maoist activities. You all must watch a movie called Bastar. You'll understand what exactly people go through there. And every small corporate or leader, corporate or whoever it is, to the big man there, goes around with AK-47s around him. It's pretty intimidating and overwhelming when you work there. In that situation, we as civilians put a helicopter and a twin-engine plane in Jagdalpur and started responding into jungles when the CRPF were shot, they were injured by grenade injuries or bomb blasts, IED blasts, could be any injuries. The brutality of those injuries were you can't even watch those pictures. The entire limb gone, below waist, they were, Madam is here, she'll know what I'm talking about, people stepping on the landmines, the whole lower limbs gone. These were the guys we were responding into jungles, airlifting them middle of this cross-firing, although helipads were sanitized, bringing them to Jagdalpur, stabilizing, resuscitating them, taking them to Raipur, taking them to Delhi, Dantewad, and leading these operations. I was there in the forefront. I could have been shot as well. I mean, there is nothing like, I'm safe and I have, no, there was nobody giving us protection. All our vehicles and helicopters, everything were branded with our ICAT air ambulance services, and we were not just a healthcare workers, we were working on behalf of government and we were the targets. At this time, everybody's questioned me, why you? You have our entire team there, they should be there, as a leader of the team or the organization head, you shouldn't be standing here doing this. But if I don't lead and if I don't do, who else? So my father, when I was coming back after finishing all the mission completed, I asked my dad, everybody were freaking out, getting scared. Why is that you didn't ask me a single time, why are you there? For any parent, a child is important. I asked my dad that, why were you not scared? He said, God will not give opportunity to everyone to do this job. He has given you the opportunity. There is something in Basvarna would say, Sharanange Savilla anta, and the Devur Namdange Savilla anta. I can die even falling off the stairs here. But if I die a life saving 100 lives, I don't think that's a death. That is something, an achievement, I would say. So my message to all of you is, take a step back from what you're doing, plan your day, plan your month, plan your week, plan your life, plan it ahead. and work towards it. And as you go focusing on what you would like to do, and always think the best for others, not just for yourself. What am I going to contribute to this world? Today we have trained 48,000 people free of cost in CPR program. That is like 15,000 rupees a training people charge. I've done that for free of cost. So if I could have made all that money and in my kitty and I could have been on a yacht enjoying my holiday. But I thought I should do that free because I want to build a nation of lifesavers as well as I build my healthcare and the business. So I'm not a very great person in advising the youngsters. I only speak by my experience, and all the best to all of you.
Who's and close for the next?
To do and not to do, first of all, I'm making rules and related. But the super successful development ಏನು ಮಾಡೋದು ಜೀವನದಲ್ಲಿ ಬೇರೆ ಯಾರು ಮಾಡದೇ ಇರೋದಿಲ್ಲ. always keep persistence. ಚಿಕ್ಕವನಿದ್ದಾಗ ನಿರ್ಭಯ ಮಾತಾಡಿದರು ಅವರು ವಿಶ್ವೇಶ್ವರಯ್ಯನವರು ಅವರ ಜೀವನದ ಘಟನೆಯನ್ನು ನಮಗೆಲ್ಲ ಕೇರಳ ಕಟ್ಟೋದು ಶುರು ಮಾಡೋದಕ್ಕಿಂತ ಮುಂಚೆ ಎಲ್ಲ ಇಂಜಿನಿಯರ್ ಮೀಟಿಂಗ್ ವಿಶ್ವೇಶ್ವರಯ್ಯ. I can ask you to see certain part of my office. You see to it that the best of the world. ಅಂದರೆ ಯಾವ ಕೆಲಸವನ್ನು ನಿಮಗೆ ವಹಿಸಲಾಗಿದೆಯೋ ಆ ಕೆಲಸ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿ ಯಾರು ಮಾಡೋದಕ್ಕೆ ಆಗೋದಿಲ್ಲ. ಯಾವಾಗ ಕೆಲಸ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ ಯಾವುದೇ ಆಗಲಿ ಹೋಗಿ ಬಿಕಮ್ ಬೆಸ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡೋದು ಮಾಡೋದನ್ನು ನಾವು ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ. ಆಂಟರ್ಪ್ರಿನರ್ಶಿಪ್ ಬಗ್ಗೆ That's how life is. ಅದಕ್ಕಿಂತಲೇ ಪ್ರದರ್ಶನ ಕ್ರಿಕೆಟ್ ಕ್ರಿಕೆಟ್ ಉತ್ತರ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಆಲೋಕ ಗೊತ್ತಾಯ್ತು ನನಗೆ. ಆಮೇಲೆ ಗೊತ್ತಾಗಿ ಮೊದಲು ವಿಕೆಟ್ ನಾನೇ ತಗೊಂಡಿದ್ದೀನಿ. ಜೀವನದಲ್ಲಿ ನಾಟ್ ಟು ಅನ್ನೋದಕ್ಕಿಂತ ಟು ಅಂದ್ರೆ what is your goal ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಆಕ್ಷನ್ ಹೆಚ್ಚು ಸೆಂಚುರಿಗಳಿಗೆ ಇರುವ ಮೂಲ ರಿಕ್ವೈರ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಏನು? ಸೆಂಚುರಿ ಸ್ಕೋರ್ ಬೋರ್ಡ್ ಕಾಣ್ತದೆ. ಸ್ಕೋರ್ ಬೋರ್ಡ್ ಆಟ ಆಡಿದ ಸೆಂಚುರಿ ಹೊಡೆಯಕ್ಕೆ ಬಾಲ್ ನೋಡ್ಕೊಂಡು ಆಟ ಆಡಿದ ಸೆಂಚುರಿ ಹೊಡೆಯಕ್ಕೆ ನೋಡ್ಕೊಂಡು ಆಟ ಆಡೋದು. ಪ್ರತಿ ಬಾಲನ್ನು ಅತ್ಯುತ್ತಮವಾಗಿ ಆಡಿದಾಗ ಸ್ಕೋರ್ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ತಲೆ ಕೆಡಿಸ್ಕೊಂಡು ಸ್ಕೋರ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಸ್ಕೋರ್ ಆಗ್ತದೆ. ಸ್ಕೋರ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಸ್ಕೋರ್ ಆಗ್ತದೆ. ಅದ್ರ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಅರಿವು ಮಾಡೋದಕ್ಕಾಗಲ್ಲ. How have you played this ball? That matters. ಹಾಗೆ ಜೀವನದಲ್ಲಿ ಯಶಸ್ಸು ಯಾವತ್ತೂ ಬರುತ್ತೆ. ಇವತ್ತಿನ ದಿನ ನಾನು ಏನು ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ, ಈ ಕ್ಷಣ ನಾನು ಏನು ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ ನಿರಂತರವಾಗಿ ಬಂದಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಗುರುಗಳು ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ. ಅದರಿಂದ ಮಾತ್ರ ಆ ಒಂದೊಂದೇ ಹೆಜ್ಜೆ ಸಕ್ಸಸ್ ಕಡೆ ಹೋಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ. ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ ಐ ಆಲ್ವೇಸ್ ಸೀ ನನ್ನ ಒಂದು ಸ್ಟೋರಿ ಬಂದಾಗ ಹೌ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಐ ಕ್ರಿಯೇಟೆಡ್ ದಿಸ್ ಪರ್ಟಿಕ್ಯುಲರ್ ಸ್ಟೋರಿ. ಈ ವರದಿಯನ್ನು ನಾನು ಹೇಗೆ ಟ್ರೀಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಿ. ನನ್ನಪ್ಪ ಈಗ ಕೊಡಲಿ ಒಂದು ಹಮಾಸ್ನವರು ಸಿರಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಯುದ್ಧ ಮಾಡ್ತಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಐ ಆಮ್ ಎಡಿಟರ್ ಮೇಡಮ್ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇರ್ಬೋದು ನಾಟ್ಯವಾಡದಲ್ಲಿ ಐ ಆಮ್ ಎಡಿಟರ್. My job is to assign reporters to cover certain things. But during those situations, I feel like, no, I have to be disabled. ನಾನು ಕಷ್ಟಪಡ್ತೀನಿ, ಎಂಬಸಿಗೆ ಕಾಲ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಿ, ನನ್ನೊಂದು ವೀಸಾ ಕೊಡಿ, ನಾನು ಕಾಲ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಿ. Lufthansa Airlines flight ವಾಪಸ್ ಬಂತು because ಲಾಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಶೆಲ್ಲಿಂಗ್ ಹ್ಯಾಪನಿಂಗ್ ದೇರ್. ಇಟ್ಸ್ ಪ್ರೇ ಟು ಗಾಡ್ ಒಂದ್ಸಲ ಹೋಗೋದು ನೀವು ಲ್ಯಾಂಡ್ ಮಾಡೋಕ್ಕಾಗ್ತದೆ. That particular task, how I did it. ಅಂತಿಮವಾಗಿ ಪ್ರತಿ ಸವಾಲನ್ನು ಹೇಗೆ ಎದುರಿಸ್ತೀರಿ, ಪ್ರತಿ ದಿನವನ್ನು ಹೇಗೆ ಹೇಳ್ತೀರಿ. ಯಾರೋ ಕೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ಜೀವನದಲ್ಲಿ ಕನಸು ಏನಂದ್ರೆ ನಾನು ಮಲ್ಟಿಮಿಲಿಯನ್ ಕಂಪನಿಗಳು ರೆಡಿ ಮಾಡಿಕೊಳ್ಳಿ ಇವತ್ತೇನು ಮಾಡೋದಿದೆ ಅಂದರೆ ಏನೆಲ್ಲ ಬೇಜಾರಾಗಿ ಆ ರೀತಿಯ ದಿನಗಳನ್ನು ಕಳೆದು ಅಂತಿಮವಾಗಿ ಆ ಗುರಿಯನ್ನು ಯಾವುದೇ ಆಗಲಿ ಯಾವ ಯಾವ ಬದುಕಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾವುದೇ ಆಗಲಿ ಅದನ್ನು ಪರ್ಸಿಸ್ಟೆನ್ಸ್ ಇರಬೇಕು, ನಿರಂತರತೆ ಇರಬೇಕು. ಅದು ಸಕ್ಸಸ್ಗೆ ತಗೊಂಡು ಹೋಗಬೇಕು. ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಅದು ಬಂದರೆ ಗುರಿ, ಅದು ಬಂದ ನಂತರ ಅವರಿಗೆ ಇದೊಂದು ಕೂಡ ಮಾತಾಡೋದಕ್ಕೆ ನಾವು ನೋಡಿದ್ದೀವಿ.
My voice sounds much better in this, I think so. So one thing you would have noticed that Shamaji said, good journalist, good administration, when she told about me, an army officer. Because when it comes to army, there is no if, no but. While journalism and administration are the important pillars of our democracy, of our nation, army is equal to responsibility towards that nation, towards the security of that nation. And when I speak about that, what is most important, when I speak about the responsibility towards securing your nation, the most important is your character. And when does this start? While you wear your uniform? No, not at all. It starts when you think about it, when you dream about it. It starts immediately from there and then. Then towards your selection, it remains while you are wearing that uniform, and even while you are out of that uniform, because once a soldier is always a soldier, and there is no if and but, and there is no compromise in that character, because you are talking about the security of your nation. And why I say so, because always in army, we have this pledge every day that the security welfare of my country comes first, always and every time. The security, welfare and comfort of my men comes next. My own security and comfort comes last, always and every time. So what you cannot do is, you cannot enact this, right? You cannot somehow bring that into you. If you have it in you, you have it in you. This is what army is all about. And that is why we always say in army, do you have it in you? That's the punchline we always have in army. Do you have it in you? Because if you have this attitude, if you have this sense of responsibility of Rashtra Pratham, nation first, always and every time, then you are for army and army is for you.
Administration is one such job which is worth a try, because this is one, where you can give back to the society. Being a commissioner for higher education, you can bring about reforms in the higher education field. Being a director or commissioner for tourism, you can take initiatives and bring about changes in the tourism sector. And being the commissioner of higher education, so on and so forth, 30 plus departments are there, right? So I suggest, and it also contributes for the overall development of your personality. And do's, when it comes to do's, definitely each decision of yours will have a long-lasting impact on the larger public, definitely. So I suggest that we should always go by the talisman of Gandhiji. He says, whenever you take any decision, and in case if you are confused about taking a decision, always look at the last person who is at the receiving end of your decision, and if it is going to be beneficial to him, then definitely go for it. So that is the to-do list. And if it comes to don't take any decisions. Always be compassionate, be kindful. Ultimately, all your decisions will have a long-lasting impact on the larger public. So that is why you should be very, very careful when you take any decisions. So that's it, as far as administration is concerned.
So that's now open for questions from you. Volunteers who have questions, please. Yeah, volunteers might say.
I must say, this is an amazing bunch of students. So many hands raised. It's so much encouraging to see that. So big hand for all of you. Hello.
ನನ್ನ ಹೆಸರು ವಿಶ್ವಾಸ್ ಅಂತ, VIT ಡಿಗ್ರಿ ಕಾಲೇಜಿಂದ ಬಂದಿರೋದು. ನನ್ನ ಕ್ವಶನ್ ಬಂದು ಅಜಿತ್ ಸರ್ಗೆ. ಸಮಾಜವನ್ನು ರೂಪಿಸುವಲ್ಲಿ ಪತ್ರಕರ್ತರ ಪಾತ್ರ ನೀವು ಹೇಗೆ ನೋಡುತ್ತೀರಾ, ಎಸ್ಪೆಷಲಿ ಫಾರ್ ಯಂಗರ್ ಜನರೇಷನ್?
ಪ್ರಶ್ನೆ ಸಮಾಜವನ್ನು ರೂಪಿಸುವಲ್ಲಿ ಪತ್ರಕರ್ತರ ಪಾತ್ರ ಅದನ್ನ ಒಂದು ನಾನೇ ರಿವ್ಯೂ ಮಾಡಬೇಕಿಲ್ಲ, ಯಾಕೆ ಸಮಾಜ ಪರಿವರ್ತನೆ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು, ಸಮಾಜವನ್ನು ಬದಲಾವಣೆ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. ಅದು ಒಂದೇ ಗುರಿಯಾಗಿ ಪತ್ರಿಕೋದ್ಯಮಕ್ಕಿಂತ ಎಫೆಕ್ಟಿವ್ ಮಾರ್ಗಗಳು ಬಹಳ ಇದೆ. ಪತ್ರಿಕೋದ್ಯಮಕ್ಕಿಂತ ಎಫೆಕ್ಟಿವ್ ಮಾರ್ಗಗಳು ಸಾಮಾಜಿಕ ಬದಲಾವಣೆಗಳು ಬಹಳ ಇದೆ. ಪತ್ರಿಕೋದ್ಯಮ ಬಂದೇನೋ ಸಮಾಜದಲ್ಲಿ ಪರಿವರ್ತನೆ ಕಂಪನಿ ಅಂತ ಹೋದ್ರೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಐಡಿಯಸ್ ಇರಬಾರ್ದು, ಅನ್ರಿಯಲಿಸ್ಟಿಕ್ ಐಡಿಯಸ್ ಇರಬಾರ್ದು. ಸೊ ಪತ್ರಿಕೋದ್ಯಮ ಜನರೆಲ್ಲ ಎಚ್ಚರಿಕೆ ಅವರು ಅಲರ್ಟ್ ಸ್ಟೇಜ್ನಲ್ಲಿ ಇರೋದಕ್ಕೆ ಮತ್ತು ಅವರು ತೆಗೆದುಕೊಳ್ಳುವ ನಿರ್ಧಾರಗಳನ್ನು ಕಾನ್ಶಿಯಸ್ ನಿರ್ಧಾರ ತೆಗೆದುಕೊಳ್ಳುವುದು, ಪ್ರೇರಣೆ ಕೊಡುವುದು ಪತ್ರಿಕೋದ್ಯಮದ ಕೆಲಸ. ಆ ಕೆಲಸ ನಾವು ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. ಅಂತಿಮವಾಗಿ ಆಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡೋದ್ರಿಂದ ಯಾರು ಜನ ನಾವು ಸಂಕಟ ಆಗ್ತದೆ. ಓಟ್ ಹಾಕಿದ್ರೆ ದುಡ್ಡು ತಗೋಬೇಡಿ, ಜಾತಿ ಆಧಾರದ ಓಟ್ ಹಾಕಬೇಡಿ ಹೇಳಿ ಅಂತಿಮವಾಗಿ ಜನ ಅದು ಕೇಳಿಕೊಂಡು ಅದರ ಪ್ರಕಾರ ಓಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ಸಾಮಾಜಿಕ ಬದಲಾವಣೆ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಮೈಂಡ್ ಸೋಲ್ ಪ್ರಪೋಸಲ್ ಜರ್ನಲಿಸಂ ಈಸ್ ಟು ಎಂಪವರ್ ಯು ಟು ಟೇಕ್ ಅ ಇನ್ಫಾರ್ಮ್ಡ್ ಡಿಸಿಷನ್, ಕಾನ್ಶಿಯಸ್ ಡಿಸಿಷನ್. ಅದರಿಂದ ಸಾಮಾಜಿಕ ಬದಲಾವಣೆ ಬಂದರೆ ನನ್ನ ಪ್ರಕಾರ ಒಂದು ಬೈಕೊಡೋದು ಐ ಕುಡ್ ಬಿ ರಾಂಗ್, ದಟ್ಸ್ ಹೌ ಐ ಸೀ ಇಟ್. ನನಗೆ ನನ್ನ ಕಾಳಜಿನ ಪತ್ರಿಕೋದ್ಯಮದ ಧರ್ಮ ಏನು ಅಂದರೆ ಸತ್ಯವನ್ನು ಹೇಳುವುದು, ಸಾಧ್ಯವಾದಷ್ಟು ಗಟ್ಟಿ ಧ್ವನಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಸಾಧ್ಯವಾದಷ್ಟು ಹೋರಾಟ ಅದೇ ಕೆಲಸಗಳು ಸುಮ್ಮನೆ ಸಮಾಜದಲ್ಲಿ ಬದಲಾವಣೆ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. ಪತ್ರಿಕೋದ್ಯಮ ಪತ್ರಕರ್ತರ ಡೈರೆಕ್ಟ್ ಇನ್ವಾಲ್ವ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಆಗಿರುತ್ತೆ.
So I'm Sanjana.
ಹಲೋ ಸರ್, ನನ್ನ ಹೆಸರು ನಿಂಗಣ್ಣ ಅಂತ ಸರ್. ನಾನು BS ಕಾಲೇಜ್ ಜಯನಗರದಿಂದ ಮಾತಾಡೋದು. ಅಶ್ವಿನ್ ಗೌಡ ಸರ್. ಸರ್ ನೀವು ಮಾಸ್ಟರಲ್ಲಿ 13 ಗೋಲ್ಡ್ ಮೆಡಲ್ಸ್ ತಗೊಂಡಿದೆ. ಸೊ ಅದು IRS ಆಫೀಸರ್. ಸೊ ಇದಕ್ಕೆ ನೀವು ಬಿದ್ದಂಥ ಶ್ರಮದಲ್ಲಿ ಈಗ ಯಂಗ್ ಜನರೇಷನ್ ಹೇಳುವಂಥ ಮೆಸೇಜ್ ಏನಿದೆ ಸರ್? ಹಾರ್ಡ್ ವರ್ಕ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ಎಫರ್ಟ್ ಹಾಕಿದ್ದೀರಾ, ಈಗಿರೋ ಕಾಂಪಿಟೇಷನ್ಗೆ ತುಂಬ ಎಫೆಕ್ಟಲ್ಲಿದೆ. ಸೊ ಹೆವಿ ಮೋರ್ ದೆನ್ ಅದು ನನ್ನ ಕ್ವಶನ್ ಸರ್.
ಏನಿಲ್ಲ, ನಾನು ನಿಮಗೆ ಹೇಳೋದಕ್ಕಿಂತ ಮುಂಚೆ ಒಂದಷ್ಟು ಫ್ಯಾಕ್ಟ್ಸ್ಗಳನ್ನ ಕೊಟ್ಬಿಡ್ತೀನಿ. ಪ್ರತಿ ವರ್ಷ ನಮ್ಮ ರಾಜ್ಯದಲ್ಲಿ ಆಲ್ಮೋಸ್ಟ್ 80,000 ಇಂಜಿನಿಯರಿಂಗ್ ಗ್ರಾಜುಯೇಟ್ಸ್ ಆರ್ ಕಮಿಂಗ್ ಔಟ್ ಆಫ್ ದ ಕಾಲೇಜಸ್. ಆಯ್ತಾ? 1.5 lakh ITI ಸ್ಟೂಡೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ಆರ್ ಕಮಿಂಗ್ ಔಟ್ ಆಫ್ ದ ITI ಕಾಲೇಜಸ್ ಅಂಡ್ 4.9 degree students are coming out of the colleges. That means what? On an average, approximately around 9 lakh students are entering into the job market. ಹೌದಾ? UPSC ನಲ್ಲಿ ಪ್ರತಿ ವರ್ಷ 14 ಲಕ್ಷ ಜನ ಎಕ್ಸಾಮ್ಸ್ ಬರೀತಾರೆ. ಎಷ್ಟು ಪೋಸ್ಟಿಗೆ? 1,000 ಪೋಸ್ಟಿಗೆ. ಸೊ ದ ಪಾಸ್ ಪರ್ಸೆಂಟೇಜ್ ಇಸ್ ನಾಟ್ ಇವನ್, ಇಸ್ ನಾಟ್ ಇವನ್ 0.01%. ಹೌದಾ? ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಇಷ್ಟು ಕಾಂಪಿಟೇಷನ್ ಇರಬೇಕಾದಾಗ ಮತ್ತೆ ನೀವು ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಅಬ್ಸರ್ವ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು, ನಮ್ಮಲ್ಲಿ ಏನು ಇವಾಗ ಕ್ಯಾಂಪಸ್ ಇಂದ ಆಚೆ ಕಡೆಗೆ ಬರ್ತಾರೆ, ಹಾರ್ಡ್ಲಿ 10% ಆಫ್ ದೆಮ್ ಆರ್ ಗೆಟಿಂಗ್ ಕ್ಯಾಂಪಸ್ ಪ್ಲೇಸ್ಡ್. ಅಂಡ್ ವಾಟ್ ಅಬೌಟ್ ದ ರೆಸ್ಟ್? ಅಂಡ್ ಒನ್ಸ್ ಯು ಆರ್ now out of the college, and if you are not placed anywhere, it becomes absolutely difficult. Because ನನ್ನ ಆಫೀಸ್ ನಲ್ಲೇ ಪ್ರತಿ ದಿನ I used to entertain almost 10 to 15 students requesting for jobs, sir ಕೆಲಸ ಕೊಡ್ಸಿ ಅಂತ. ಸೊ ನೀವೆಲ್ಲರೂ ಓದ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀರಾ, ಓದಾದ್ಮೇಲೆ ಉದ್ದೇಶ ಏನು? ಅಲ್ಟಿಮೇಟ್ ಉದ್ದೇಶ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ನನ್ಗೊಂದು ಕೆಲಸ ಸಿಗ್ಬೇಕು ಅಥವಾ ನಾನೊಬ್ಬ ಆಂಟ್ರಪ್ರಿನರ್ ಆಗ್ಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ. ಹೌದಾ? ಸೊ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಬೇಕಾಗಿರ್ತಕ್ಕಂತಹ ಸ್ಕಿಲ್ಸ್ ಗಳನ್ನ ನೀವು ಇವಾಗಿಂದಾನೆ ಬೆಳೆಸ್ಕೊಳ್ತಾ ಹೋಗ್ಬೇಕು. ಸೊ ಯು ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಟು ಕಾನ್ಸ್ಟೆಂಟ್ ಸ್ಕಿಲ್ಲಿಂಗ್, ಅಪ್ಸ್ಕಿಲ್ಲಿಂಗ್, ರೀಸ್ಕಿಲ್ಲಿಂಗ್ ಅಂತ ಏನ್ ಬೆಳಿಗ್ಗೆಯಿಂದನೂ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ, ಅದು ಬಹಳ ಮುಖ್ಯವಾದಂಥದ್ದು. ನನ್ನ ಹತ್ರ ಆಫೀಸರ್ ಕಂಪನೀಸ್ ಅವ್ರು ಬರ್ತಾರೆ, ಏನ್ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ, ಸರ್ ನನಗೆ ಡಿಗ್ರಿ ಮಾಡಿರೋ ಹುಡುಗರು ಬೇಡ, ನನಗೆ ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿ ಮಾತಾಡ್ತಕ್ಕಂತಹ, ಫ್ಲೂಯೆಂಟ್ ಆಗಿ ಮಾತಾಡ್ತಕ್ಕಂತಹ ಹುಡುಗರನ್ನ ಕೊಡಿ ಅಂತ. ಇನ್ಫ್ಯಾಕ್ಟ್ ಒನ್ ಆಫ್ ದ ಕಂಪನೀಸ್, we do organize job fairs, and one of the companies was telling, sir, today the students are coming out of the colleges and they are not even able to draft an email. ಬರೆಯಕ್ಕೆ ಬರೋದಿಲ್ಲ ಸರ್ ಅವರಿಗೆ, ಕಮ್ಯುನಿಕೇಶನ್ಸ್ ಇಲ್ಲ, ಕ್ರಿಟಿಕಲ್ ಥಿಂಕಿಂಗ್ ಇಲ್ಲ, ಕ್ರಿಯೇಟಿವಿಟಿ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಇದೆಲ್ಲ 21st century ಸ್ಕಿಲ್ಸ್, ಸಾಫ್ಟ್ ಸ್ಕಿಲ್ಸ್. ನೀವು ಇದನ್ನ ಕಡೆಗೆ ಗಮನ ಕೊಡಬೇಕು. ಸೊ ನೀವೇನ್ ಕಾಲೇಜ್ನಲ್ಲಿ ಓದ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀರಾ, ಪರಿಶ್ರಮ ಹಾಕಿ, ಕ್ಲಾರಿಟಿ ಆಫ್ ಥಾಟ್ಸ್ ಇಟ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ. ನಾನು ಏನಾಗಬೇಕು ಅನ್ನೋದು ಬಹಳ ಮುಂಚೆಯಿಂದನೇ ನಿಮಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಿರಬೇಕು. ನಾನು ಏನ್ ಆಗ್ಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ಹೊರಟಿದ್ದೀನಿ ಅನ್ನೋದ್ರ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಿರಬೇಕು. ಅದ್ರದ್ದು ಒಂದು ಪ್ಲಾನ್ ಆಫ್ ಆಕ್ಷನ್ ನ ಜಾಟ್ ಡೌನ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ, ಮೆಜರಬಲ್ ಟಾರ್ಗೆಟ್ಸ್ ಗಳನ್ನ ಇಟ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ. ಅದನ್ನ ಒಂದೊಂದೇ ಡೈಲಿ ಟಾರ್ಗೆಟ್ಸ್ ಮೇಡಮ್ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ರು, ಡೈಲಿ ಟಾರ್ಗೆಟ್ಸ್, ವೀಕ್ಲಿ ಟಾರ್ಗೆಟ್ಸ್, ಮಂತ್ಲಿ ಟಾರ್ಗೆಟ್ಸ್ ಅಂತ. ಇದನ್ನ ಇಟ್ಕೊಂಡು ನೀವು ಇದನ್ನ ಅಚೀವ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಬಂತು ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ನಿಮ್ಗೊಂದು ಕಾನ್ಫಿಡೆನ್ಸ್ ಬರುತ್ತೆ. ಇವತ್ತು ನಮ್ಮ ಮಕ್ಕಳಲ್ಲಿ ಕಾನ್ಫಿಡೆನ್ಸ್ ಇಲ್ಲ, ಸೆಲ್ಫ್ ಡೌಟ್ ಇದೆ, ನೆಗೆಟಿವ್ ಇನ್ಫ್ಲೂಯೆನ್ಸರ್ಸ್ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ. ಸೊ ಇದೆಲ್ಲವನ್ನ ನೀವು ಓವರ್ಕಮ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಬೇಕು ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಕ್ಲಾರಿಟಿ ಆಫ್ ಥಾಟ್ಸ್ ಇಟ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ, ಒಂದು ಗೋಲ್ ನ ಸೆಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ, ಟಾರ್ಗೆಟ್ಸ್ ಗಳನ್ನ ಇಟ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ, ಅದ್ರ ಪ್ರಕಾರವಾಗಿ ಹೋಗೋದಕ್ಕೆ ಏನ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕು ಪ್ರಯತ್ನಗಳನ್ನ ನೀವು ಮಾಡ್ತು ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಖಂಡಿತವಾಗಿಯೂ ಕೂಡ ನೀವು, ಇನ್ಫ್ಯಾಕ್ಟ್ ದರ್ ಇಸ್ ಅ ಸೇಯಿಂಗ್, ದ ಬಿಗ್ಗೆಸ್ಟ್ ಅಡ್ವೆಂಚರ್ ಇನ್ ಲೈಫ್ ಇಸ್ ಟು ಲೀವ್ ದ ಲೈಫ್ ಆಫ್ ಯುವರ್ ಡ್ರೀಮ್ಸ್. ನೀವು ಏನು ನಿಮ್ಮ ಕನಸಿನ ಜೀವನವನ್ನ ಜೀವಿಸಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ಅನ್ಕೊಂಡಿದ್ದೀರೋ ಅದು ಸಾಧ್ಯ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ.
Namaste, I'm Sanjana from BMS College of Law. How to achieve goals when you're like people these days are diagnosed with ADHD and stuff like that? How to achieve goals when people these days are diagnosed with ADHD and stuff like that?
How do we achieve goals when people are diagnosed with ADHD?
So ADHD or autism or dyslexia, these diagnoses, in India it is totally underdiagnosed or buried. I'll give a small example of dyslexia. ನಾವು ಮಕ್ಕಳಿಗೆ ಇಂಡಿಯಾದಲ್ಲಿ ಎಷ್ಟು ಸತಿ ಈ ABCD ನ ಬರ್ಸಿ ಇರ್ತೀವಿ ಅಂದ್ರೆ we miss the diagnosis of dyslexia and we don't know how to address them when they faced with the complicated problems. The same is ADHD. It's the most underdiagnosed. If you have ADHD, there is a separate skill set for the psychiatrist or the psychologist and clinical psychologist how to address that. What is their strength? So people with ADHD actually are very successful people. If you look at the most successful scientists or most successful innovators, all of them have an element of ADHD. Because they're so restless, because they want to do something, achieve something. So never ever take ADHD as a disease or a drawback. But there is a way of addressing it by the professionals. So it is just, you have to get a right advice or a right doctor you need to reach to. There are millions of psychiatric platforms are coming up now. Or just speak to your own doctor to refer to a good psychiatrist, and they will be able to kind of advise you properly. So whatever the mental health conditions today we have, they never take it as a drawback. Even even if you take dyslexics, there are very brilliant doctors who are dyslexics. So again, these are all not the drawbacks. We will just work around these problems, circumvent these and see the strengths and address the weaknesses. That's all.
There's one more thing I would want to add here, is that it is because you are thinking that they have this problem. For them, you might be different, right? So it is our incapability of thinking that they don't have the capacity we have, but they would be thinking the other way around, that you don't have the kind of mindset or the kind of thought process we have. Ultimately it is here, it is brain, and the same capacity everywhere. The only difference is to put it into force. And as absolutely rightly what ma'am said, it is immense capacity and capability they have, and we would see it as a short-sightedness, but that is not at all it. So we need to grow in our mind for that.
Thank you. There is another child. Just have, I think there are a lot of hands, a lot of questions. So kindly write those questions first and last on. We will try on that immediately question and ensure that the answers reach that you. But we have, I'm extremely sorry, we have time for one question and there was a child.
Namaste, I'm Sangeeta Shetty, a final year BCom student from the Sagar Business Academy. We might have noticed that a lot of people in the path of pursuing their dreams they get influenced by various factors and which deviates them from achieving their dreams. So my question to the panel is, how does one maintain the purpose or like the sense of purpose and authenticity while navigating through the complex world of career, success, money, and so on? It's open to the panel, anybody can answer.
No, there is no shortcut to success. Often there are shortcuts for the popularity. Immediate popularity for the shortcuts for how deviation are that all depends on you. ನನಗೆ ಮಾನಸಿಕವಾಗಿ ನಾನು ದೊಡ್ಡವನ್ನು ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಿ. ಜೀವನ ಹೆಂಗೆ ತುಂಬ ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿರ್ಬೇಕು ಅಂದರೆ ವೃತ್ತಿ ಮತ್ತು ಪ್ರವೃತ್ತಿ ಒಂದೇ ಆಗಿದ್ದಾಗ ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿದೆ. Look at that. Wೃತ್ತಿ ಮತ್ತು ಪ್ರವೃತ್ತಿ. Your hobby has to be your job. Then you will lead a wonderful life. That is the single biggest principle I have ever followed. My hobby, ever since I was a child, was to speak, to write, to read, to roam around. It is a hobby. What are you doing in the system? I am doing the same thing. Look at the cricketers. Success and cricket are ಡಾನ್ಸ್ ಮಾಡೋದು ಖುಷಿ ಇರುತ್ತೆ, ಡಾನ್ಸ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಆಟೋಟವಾದ ಜೀವನ ನಡೆಸ್ತಾರೆ. ಮತ್ತೆ ಅವರು ಸಾಹಸಗಳನ್ನು ಮಾಡೋದು ಅಡ್ವೆಂಚರ್ ಲೈಫ್ನಲ್ಲಿ ಬಹಳ ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿರ್ತಾರೆ. ಮತ್ತೆ ಅವರು ದೊಡ್ಡ ನಂಬರ್ ಬಹಳ ಖುಷಿ. ಇದು ಆರ್ಥಿಕವಾಗಿ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ ಅಂದರೆ ವೀಕೆಂಡ್ ಯಾವಾಗ ಬೇಕು ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ, ಯಾವಾಗ ಪ್ರಯೋಜನ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ, ಯಾವಾಗ ನಾವು ಹೊರಗಡೆ ಹೋಗ್ತೀವಿ. ಯಾಕಂದರೆ ನೀವು ವರ್ಕ್ ಮಾಡೋ ಆಫೀಸ್ ದೇಶಪಾಲ ಅನಿಸ್ತಾರೆ. But when you do what you like, aವಾಗ ನಿಮಗೆ ಡಿವಿಯೇಷನ್ ಪ್ರಶ್ನೆ ಬರೋದಿಲ್ಲ. ಡಿವಿಯೇಷನ್ ಪ್ರಶ್ನೆ ಬರೋದಿಲ್ಲ. ನನಗೆ ಫಾರ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್ when I was a crime reporter in Gowda, I was also radio jockey on 101.8 radio. For one particular show, they used to give me 800 rupees. It's fast. Let's go 800 rupees. But they don't know what it is, how I enjoy there. I used to make a list of songs I want to listen. Just get those songs, sit in the studio, listen to all those nice songs, and get out of the studio and have 800 rupees in hand. There is no deviation there. I never missed a single show. I never thought I would say, you don't need to marketing. So when deviation deviates you, is when you don't have a right mind in the what work you are doing. I hope I answered it.
This is one line which I would want to add here. That if it is your dream and if that dream has converted to your goal and aim, it will never deviate you. Yes, but if it is your thought, there might be thousands of deviation, because just as what Ashwin ji also mentioned, that the most adventurous life is to live your dream. So if this dream turned into your goal and aim, trust me, each and everything which would come in your path would be the stepping stone to reach to your aim.
We have volunteers who are handing over small papers to you. So any questions that I have, I will write them and send it across.
Ma'am, please, ma'am. Important question, ma'am. To Mr. Ashwin Gowda, ma'am.
I will have to seek permission.
ऐसा बहुत कम देखने को मिलता है, क्षमा जी, ऐसा बहुत कम देखने को मिलता है कि ऑडियंस उसमें भी यूथ, वरना उनसे बुलवाना पड़ता है कि कुछ पूछो. यहाँ पे रिक्वेस्ट हो रहे हैं that you want to ask. Amazing students.
This is one.
My question is to Mr. Ashwin Gowda. So you are.
No, go ahead. We are able to hear you.
So you said that your father.
the most powerful service is to becoming a bureaucrat. I agree to that, sir. But I am the person who is confused between to become a politician or a bureaucrat. On whether who is more powerful, a politician who controls the bureaucrat or a bureaucrat who runs the. And additionally, I have one more question. Whether bureaucrats work under the pressure of politicians?
ಎರಡೂ ಕ್ವೆಶನ್ ತುಂಬಾ ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿದೆ. ಮೊದಲನೇದಾಗಿ ನಾನು ಏನು ಹೇಳಕ್ಕೆ ಇಷ್ಟಪಡ್ತೀನಿ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ, ಪ್ರಪಂಚದಲ್ಲಿ ಇರ್ತಕ್ಕಂತಹ ಎಲ್ಲ ಕೆಲಸಗಳು ಕೂಡ ಪವರ್ಫುಲ್ ಕೆಲಸಗಳೇ. So there is no specific job which can be considered as more powerful, most powerful, and the other one is less powerful. Everything is equal, if you ask me. So I'm a strong proponent of dignity of labor. First, ಎರಡನೇದು, ನೀವು ಕೇಳಿದ್ರಿ ಪೊಲಿಟಿಷಿಯನ್ ಆಗ್ಬೇಕಾ ಅಥವಾ ಕನ್ಫ್ಯೂಷನ್ ಇದ್ದೀರಿ ಅಂತ ಅಂದ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಅಂತ. ಆ ಕನ್ಫ್ಯೂಷನ್ಗೆ ನಾನು ಕ್ಲಾರಿಟಿ ಕೊಡ್ತೀನಿ. ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ಐ ವರ್ಕ್ ವಿತ್ ದ ಪೊಲಿಟಿಷಿಯನ್ಸ್ ಫಾರ್ ಆಲ್ಮೋಸ್ಟ್ 5 years. ಐ ವಾಸ್ ಸೆಕ್ರೆಟರಿ ಟು ಚೀಫ್ ಮಿನಿಸ್ಟರ್ ಆಲ್ಸೋ. ಸೊ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, ಪೊಲಿಟಿಷಿಯನ್ಸ್ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ನಮ್ಮ ಕಾರ್ಯಾಂಗದಲ್ಲಿ ಪೊಲಿಟಿಕಲ್ ಎಕ್ಸಿಕ್ಯೂಟಿವ್ಸ್, administrators are the permanent executives. ಆಯ್ತಾ? So politicians are basically responsible for making policies, whereas when it comes to implementation of those policies, it is the administrators. ನೀವು ಇಂಪ್ಲಿಮೆಂಟೇಷನ್ ನೀವು ಎಂತ ನೋಡಿ, ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಿರಬೇಕು, ಇಂಡಿಯಾದಲ್ಲಿ ಬಹಳ ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿ ಪಾಲಿಸಿನ ಫ್ರೇಮ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ, ಬಟ್ ಅದನ್ನ ಇಂಪ್ಲಿಮೆಂಟ್ ಮಾಡೋದಲ್ಲಿ ಎಡುವುದು ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಕಷ್ಟ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಪಾಲಿಸಿ ಮೇಕಿಂಗ್ ಕೂಡ ಈಕ್ವಲಿ ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟ್, ಪಾಲಿಸಿ ಇಂಪ್ಲಿಮೆಂಟೇಷನ್ ಕೂಡ ಈಕ್ವಲಿ ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟ್. ಸೊ ನೀವು ಎರಡರಲ್ಲೂ ಯಾವ್ದು ಬೇಕಾದ್ರೂ ಆಗಬಹುದು, ಯಾವ್ದು ನಿಮಗೆ ಸುಲಭ ಅನ್ಸುತ್ತೋ ಅದನ್ನ ಆಗಿ, ಬಟ್ ಇಂಪ್ಲಿಮೆಂಟೇಷನ್ ಕಡೆಗೆ ಹೆಚ್ಚಿನ ಒತ್ತನ್ನ ಕೊಡ್ಬೇಕು. ನೀವು ಪೊಲಿಟಿಷಿಯನ್ ಆದ್ರೂ ಕೂಡ ನೀವು ಮಾಡಿರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಪಾಲಿಸಿ ಇಂಪ್ಲಿಮೆಂಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ ಆಫೀಸರ್ಸು ಅನ್ನೋದ್ರ ಕಡೆಗೆ ಹೆಚ್ಚಿನ ಗಮನ ಕೊಡಬೇಕು. ನೀವು ಅಡ್ಮಿನಿಸ್ಟ್ರೇಟರ್ ಆಯ್ತು ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಹತ್ರನೇ ಇರುತ್ತೆ, ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಯು ವಿಲ್ ಬಿ ದ ಬಾಸ್ ಫಾರ್ ಇಂಪ್ಲಿಮೆಂಟಿಂಗ್ ದ ಪಾಲಿಸಿ ಆಫ್ ಯುವರ್ ಚಾಯ್ಸ್. ಸೊ ದಟ್ ಇಸ್ ದ ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್. ಆಮೇಲೆ ಎರಡನೇ ಕ್ವೆಶ್ಚನ್ ನೀವು ಕೇಳಿದ್ರಿ, yes, definitely, that is always there's no doubt about it, because ಹಂಗನ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ನಾವು ಅವ್ರನ್ನ ನೆಗೆಟ್ ಮಾಡಕ್ಕಾಗುತ್ತಾ? ಆಗಲ್ಲ. ಕಾರಣ ಏನು ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ, ಅವರು ಕೂಡ ಜನಪ್ರತಿನಿಧಿಗಳು, ಜನರಿಂದ ಆರಿಸಿ ಬಂದಂತಹವರು. ಸೊ ಆಬ್ವಿಯಸ್ಲಿ ಅವರು ಹೇಳೋದನ್ನು ನಾವು ಕನ್ಸಿಡರ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕಾಗುತ್ತೆ, ಬಟ್ ಜೊತೆಗೆ ಅಲ್ಟಿಮೇಟ್ಲಿ ಬೋತ್ ಆಫ್ ಅಸ್ ಆರ್ ವರ್ಕಿಂಗ್ ಫಾರ್ ದ ವೆಲ್ಫೇರ್ ಆಫ್ ಪಬ್ಲಿಕ್ ಇಟ್ಸೆಲ್ಫ್, ಅಲ್ವಾ? ಸೊ ಹಾಗಾಗಿ ಅವ್ರು ಏನ್ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ ಅದನ್ನ ನಾವು ಅರ್ಥ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡು, ಜನಗಳಿಗೆ ಏನ್ ಬೇಕು, ಜನರ ಸೇವೆಗೆ ಏನ್ ಬೇಕು, ಅಥವಾ ಜನರ ಒಂದು ಉದ್ಧಾರಕ್ಕಾಗಿ ನಾವ್ ಏನ್ ಮಾಡಬಹುದು ಅನ್ನೋದನ್ನ ಯೋಚನೆ ಮಾಡಿ ಇಂಪ್ಲಿಮೆಂಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತು ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಕೆಲಸ ಸುಲಭ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ ಅಂತ ನನ್ಗನ್ಸುತ್ತೆ. ಅಂಡ್ ದೇ ವಿಲ್ ಆಲ್ಸೋ ಅಗ್ರಿ ಫಾರ್ ಇಟ್. ಥ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಯು.
I wish she had a mic because she really spoke good about me.
I'd like to relate because I'm really sure about what I spoke. I'm already also with your distinguished personality, ma'am. I have two personal questions as a female. Did you face any obstacles in convincing your family to become an army officer? And the second question is, what is the difference you noticed pre-career and post-career in your family?
Pre-career and post-career in? Army. Okay. I'll get your name, please. Saida. Thank you so much, Saida, for such beautiful words. प्रशंसा किसको अच्छी नहीं लगती है. So you asked me what are the challenges or the difficulties you face. It is as similar as the difficulty I am facing now, wherein there's so much of firing going on in Kannada, and I have to hold the fort in English and I have to speak with you and put my point forward. On a lighter note, having said that, yes, coming from the state of country which is named as Gujarat, and you don't have much armed forces officers, specifically army, and that to a woman from that part of the country, because of it's more geopolitically towards the industrial side and the business side because of the harbor and other part of it. But yes, as I just mentioned to the girl out there, that if your dream turns into your goal and aim, then nothing can stop you, because you will be convinced to convince others that what you are thinking is right for you and also right for the family, and in this case, right for the nation as well. So yes, this was my conviction, and I was able to convince my parents. It was not at all difficult because my father, he believed a lot in me. And when I did this Ghatasport, when I told him after my post-graduation that this is what I am pursuing for, what he said is that I believe in you because you believe in yourself. So yes, I was blessed to have my parents. But yes, in society, there was lot many such kind of sentences, or the क्या बोलते हैं ना उसको, throwbacks thrown at me that अरे वहाँ तो युद्ध होता है, लड़की होके कैसे जाओगी, अकेले कैसे रहोगे, and all of that. And yes, it is not easy because now in this age, it was not before 1,000 years, but yes, now in this age, army has been a male bastion. Yeah, it is a male dominant organization. But why I can say this so confidently for women now, because after 1993, in 2020 February, when Supreme Court gave this judgment that women officers now will be given permanent commission as in they'll be allowed to serve for more than 20 years. Mind you, we were not allowed to serve for more than 14 years, even if we were capable of serving, other than more capable of serving than our male counterparts, but still we were not allowed because army rules did not allow. But why Supreme Court was forced to change this entire army rules regulation is because all the women who served from 1993 to 2020 proved themselves in each and every task given to them, day in, day out, may it be running 40 kilometers with 20 kgs of weight and 4.5 kgs of rifle, 3.5 kgs of your boots, not aside your soldiers, but going ahead of them, right? Wahan se leke, taking tough decisions as a female, because we don't have women as soldiers in army, we have only men, and we as female need to command them, not as female, but as their officers, making sure that they don't feel that we have women commanding them, but officers is जो हाथ ये चूड़ी पहन रहे हैं वो हाथ AK-47 रॉकेट लॉन्चर्स भी चला सकते हैं और उनसे अच्छा चला सकते हैं. That is the belief you had, all the women officers had in all these past years, and that is why we could open all these barriers, we could break all the glass ceilings. And today I'm very happy, proud to share this, that all our girls of Bharat are able to apply for National Defense Academy Khadakwasla, which was only meant for boys, Rashtriya Military Schools, Sainik Schools, RIMC, Rashtriya Military in college. You go for IMA, OTA was there. So all doors are open. I would never say sky is the limit for me. The limit is more ahead than that. So wish you all the best.
Ma'am, one last question, ma'am. It's a humble request. Please, one last.
I have to turn on.
Okay. Now, allow me to be a strict mother. This is just the last question.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
The panelists are running
You're being
out of
such a
time.
lenient mother.
Just the last question, children, please.
Yes, thank you, ma'am. All of you have achieved your dreams. In fact, you have dared to dream and achieved your dreams. And it's an immense honor to be even in the same room as you guys. I think as students, what we want to know is that while you were achieving your dream, did you ever have a maybe movement? Like, maybe this is not for me. Maybe I'm not cut out for this. And as students, as we are daring to dream and achieving our dream, we definitely face this maybe moment kind of things. So
How did you overcome your maybe movements, and how can we overcome our maybe movements? Made whatever stream we be, engineers, doctors, law, anything. So, to all of them, anyone.
You are a human being and maybe would always be there. आप भगवान नहीं है कि आपने जो एक बार सोच लिया वही होगा या you no still I have this doubt. So that is when Krishna says to Arjun, Ashanshayam Mahabaho, it's okay to have maybes, it's okay to have questions, it's absolutely fine. When you have maybes, when you are thinking, when you are wanting to go ahead, that's absolutely fine. But as I just said, if you believe in your dreams and you turn it into your goals, that maybe will turn out to be, this is it. So perseverance and, as I mentioned, conviction in what you are thinking is the main thing. आप किसी भी चीज में every day of your life, convincing your parents से लेके your teachers, your friends, convincing yourself, that's the biggest thing, and you'll be only able to convince yourself or to the world if you have that conviction of what you are thinking or what you are wanting to be.
Ma'am,
Thank you.
Ma'am, not
And
question,
I told
ma'am.
that
Ma'am, not question.
suggestions also will take it on the sheets.
Ma'am, no, ma'am. Ma'am, for Meera, ma'am. Ma'am, it's
Please.
not Kannada, it's Kannada, ma'am.
Kannada.
Thank you, ma'am.
So as I had mentioned, I'm happy that I'm here to learn from you. I get your name, please. Manish, thank you so much for teaching me it's Kannada, not Kannada. Thank you.
Thank you. An achiever is a constant learner. Today, when we go back with a lot of messages. I mean, I've just written down a few of them, but then I'll tell you one that touched me the most. Plan your day, think of the greater good, be persistent, strive for excellence, have purity of thought, dream big when you dream, work on those dreams, build a strong character, uddhared atmanatmanam, believe in yourself. These are, and many more. I mean, I've just been able to jot down a few of them. The messages that we have, received today from our eminent panelists. But Shalini ma'am said something that really touched my heart and has been, it's like an itch in the brain. She said, it's not people don't generally succumb to primary injuries, they succumb to secondary injuries. There is a golden hour and that is what we need to protect. Children, this is your golden hour. In our life, we don't succumb to, we don't really feel bad when we are not able to achieve the primary goal, when we are not even able to work towards it, and when we are not able to go across the secondary goal, when we miss that golden hour, that is when we feel bad, that with respect to the life. Youth, children, this is our golden hour. It begins now, and hence, when we move out of this panel discussion, it's important for us to gain the clarity with respect to our dream, with respect to our plan of action that we'll have towards the dream, and ensure that we do our best during the golden hour and not miss the opportunity. This message, thank you ma'am, it was an amazing message that I could receive from you. It's a pleasure to in fact invite on stage Sri Siddharth Daviji. Kindly allow us, sir. Shri Siddharth Daviji is, like how Captain Meera ji has already said, is her Krishna, the Krishna of her life. But he's the director of Mark Success Private Limited. Sir, if you may please. Yes. Mark Success Private Limited. He's an empaneled resource person for the faculty development program run by the UGC with respect to the Indian knowledge systems. He's basically working on Vedic jurisprudence. His current research is on temple village system in ancient Bharat. He's also been a Lok Sabha Research Fellow from 2018 to 20. It's an eminent person amongst us. We are so glad to have you here, sir. Kindly, a small token kindly accept a small token of gratitude for your presence today. With this, we come to the closure of an amazing program. My sincere apologies again to all the children sitting here. We were not able to take your questions. Next time, we'll make sure that there is no moderator sitting here. I will ensure that we will throw it open for the students. We can conduct an entire session that way. Volunteers, kindly collect each and every question that the children have written. Every question is important, and trust me, it will be answered. We will ensure that you receive your answers, nothing more than that, for which I humbly, I'm thankful to each one of the panelists. We have taken an hour more than what we had actually sought for. Thank you for being so patient with us. Thank you for giving us your time. Trust me, even if you give us a couple of more hours, we are greedy enough to take it, but then however, we understand the pressures that you would have. We're so honored, Shalini ma'am, Ajith sir, Captain Meera ma'am, and Ashwin sir. Thank you so much.
Just a second. If you don't mind being seated, our team members should be handing over a moment to you. Yeah, quickly. After listening to the insightful points shared by our panelists, I am certain that many of the students here will go on to dare to dream big, to break many more barriers to reach skies. I am sure many girls here would want to try and get into armed forces. Many students, probably journalism students here, will try and endorse and practice ethical leadership. Many more students here will try to think out of the box and start entrepreneurships in areas which we have not even thought before. And many more students here would go on to join bureaucracy and policy making. Thank you so much for encouraging our students, dear panelists. Now I request our trustee, Srimati Shobha Sundareshan ma'am, to please hand over a small token of gratitude to Dr. Shalini Nalwad ma'am. I request Dr. Ram Narayan sir, Associate Dean, Dayanand Sagar Dental College, to please hand over a token of gratitude to Ajith sir. I request our trustee, Purnima Purohit ma'am, to please hand over a token of gratitude to Meera ma'am. I request Dr. Krishnanand sir, Associate Dean, Dayanand Sagar Dental College, to please hand over a token of gratitude to Ashwin sir. Dear students, from morning we had very enlightening session by such great panelists and discussions as well. Lot of food to Uttar Pradesh and your Madhya Pradesh is waiting.